Hey guys, what's going on? So, as we all know, it's the middle of the year, and if you guys have noticed, there have been a couple of reviews throughout the past few months, in which, if you guys haven't noticed, I have missed a few reviews. And yes, guys, I have seen the comments of people asking, where was your review of this? Where is your review of this? Why didn't you review this? Are you not going to review this movie? And it's not that I didn't want to do those reviews. The simple matter is that there was so much going on throughout those couple of months, especially in March, that I just did not have the time to do those reviews. So normally what I would do for a late review is that I would do one video per review, but since there was so much to cover in the past 6 months, what I'm going to do instead is that I'm going to do a wrap of a bunch of reviews and put them in a single video along with the most recent review that I have seen, because I know there is one review that I know all of you want me to do, so do not worry, it's going to be in this video as well. And buckle up guys, because there's going to be quite a few movies that we're going to be talking about, starting with Game Night. So Game Night is a new black comedy from the directors of Vacation. The film stars Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams, a couple that hosts a weekly game night for their friends. However, until one night when Jason Bateman's brother, played by Kyle Chandler, comes and wanting to spice things up for the night. And his idea of spicing up their game night is just insane, to say the least. Now I'm gonna be real with you guys, I was not looking forward to this movie because I'm not a big fan of Vacation. In fact, I hate it, but walking on this movie, I was surprised by just how much fun I had with this movie. The cast is all great, including Rachel McAdams, Jason Bateman, Todd, the guy from Breaking Bad, can I remember his name? Kyle Chandler is hilarious, along with one of the couple's friends, who I cannot remember his name because every time we spoke, I could not stop laughing. Now, one of the things that really surprised me on Game Night is the fact that when you look at some of the shots in this movie, they look like actual game boards and game pieces. So I gotta give huge props to the directors for making some shots look like an actual game board, because those parts really made me go like, wow, this looks good. And unlike Vacation, this movie actually had me laughing, not throughout the movie, but there were quite a few scenes in which I was laughing my ass off. And in terms of my flaws, I do feel like the movie was a bit too long, and there was one running joke that I feel like went a little bit too long if you ask me, and plus there were a few predictable moments, but nonetheless, Game Night was a really good time at the movies, and I'm gonna give Game Night a 3.5 out of 5 stars. This movie really surprised me, probably my biggest surprise of 2018 so far. Next up is my review for Steven Soderbergh's latest film, Unsane, a film that was actually shot on an iPhone. I don't know if it was an 8 or it was a 10, either one of those two, but anyways. In the film, we follow Claire Foy, who has these visions that she is seeing a stalker that thought was her boyfriend. And when she goes to a facility to pretty much, help cope her with this, she ends up actually staying at this facility when she realizes that she told him something that she should not have told them. Now, in terms of the things that I actually like, some of the performances of this movie are actually really good. Claire Foy shines this movie. Juno Temple is really good, and there's like another guy who Claire Foy meets in this film, which was really good. And the cinematography from the iPhone looks great. At first, it's a bit distracting, but after like 15 minutes, you don't even notice it's an iPhone. It's like Steven Soderbergh knows how to shoot, and this proves why he's a great DP in the first place. And in the first 30 to 45 minutes, this was a mystery that I was sucked in. But then right after that first 45 minutes, right when the mystery was revealed, this movie took a turn that I did not like whatsoever. And after it took this turn, the movie kind of went downhill for me. I was expecting for this movie to go for a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest type of vibe, but more of a psychological thriller vibe. And the way how it went just didn't land for me whatsoever. There were many moments that were too predictable, and I thought that the guy who played the stalker just overcooked the crap out of his performance. And plus, there were so many parts of this movie that were just so unbelievable that there were many times where I was just rolling my eyes. Nonetheless, I really wanted to like this movie, but I came out of this movie just thinking was, man, this is one of my least favorite Steven Soderbergh films. Didn't hate, but didn't love it, so I'm gonna give Unsane a 2.5 out of 5 stars. I wanted to like this movie, and the way it was going at first, I really dug it, but then after the mystery is revealed, it just went downhill for me. Alright, so the film I'm about to talk about next is a film that I actually saw a month or two ago with my friend Sarah, and I just had to talk about this one. And I was originally going to do an independent review of this one all by itself, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going to include in this, and this is for the film Mom and Dad starring Nicolas Cage. Yep, I'm reviewing a Nicolas Cage film, well, a rapid fire review, but nonetheless. So anyways, Mom and Dad is a film that stars Nicolas Cage and Selma Blair as two parents that are living this day in which I don't want to give too much away, because I feel like this is one of those films that if you go in as cold as possible, knowing just a little bit of the plot, it's for the better. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give you guys a bit of a movie combination to give you guys a feeling of what this movie is like. So imagine The Purge if it was good, meets Home Alone on bath salts. That's essentially what this film is. Now, if you're into that, just get ready for a just high octane blast of a film. Okay, now when it comes to Nicolas Cage, this is a guy that you know is going to give such an operatic performance. Operatic in the most over top of the way possible, but the way how he does in this movie fits it so damn well. Selma Blair is also great in this movie. The action sequences are a lot of fun. Brian Taylor's style, who I believe directed the movie, his style, his very high octane style, was so perfect for this movie. And I'm gonna say it again, this is what the purge should have been. This movie has just so many fun sequences, a lot of great black comedy moments, and the kills in this movie are so much damn fun to watch. And for a film that runs only at about 90 to 100 minutes, it runs at such a brisk pace that I just wanted this movie to keep going. And there is a certain section in this movie that once I heard a certain term happen, I just thought, oh, this is gonna get good. Now, in terms of my flaws of this movie, I do feel like the build-up was a bit too long, and in terms of sections after the build-up, I wish they were a bit longer, but guys, nonetheless, Mom and Dad is a blast. This was a film that didn't get a lot of attention because it was only screened at film festivals, but guys, if this is on Amazon or if you can rent it anywhere, please do so because this movie is an absolute blast, and I'm gonna give Mom and Dad a 4 out of 5 stars. Look out for a scene where Nicolas Cage sings the Hokey Pokey. Trust me, you're gonna love it. Coming up next is a film that everyone I know has been praising the hell out of, and I love this director, and this is Wes Anderson's latest film, I Love Dogs. So I Love Dogs is a new Wes Anderson stop-motion animated film that follows a bunch of dogs that are voice acted by Bryan Cranston, Jeff Goldblum, Bill Murray, Harvey Keitel, amongst a bunch of others. And essentially, I Love Dogs follows a bunch of dogs that are living on this place called Trash Island, and essentially this one dog is sent there, and this kid is trying to go there to find his dog. That's really all there is to it. Now let me say this right now to you guys. I love Wes Anderson as a director. Moonrise Kingdom is my favorite film from him. I love Grand Budapest Hotel. I love Life Aquatic of Steve Zissou. I think that's the title. Fantastic Mr. Fox is such an underappreciated film. Now, one of the things that I love about this film is the stop motion animation. Anyone who knows me, I love stop motion animation so much, and I feel like that's a dying art form because rarely anybody does it anymore. But Wes Anderson is one of the few directors that likes to do it, and my god, the animation is absolutely gorgeous to look at. And not to mention the voice cast, this movie is stellar. Like I said, Bryan Cranston, Jeff Goldblum, Harvey Keitel, Bill Murray, Frances McDormand, Greta Gerwig, just so much talent to be recognized here. And it's really just a fun whimsical adventure with some really funny moments. Now that being said, I don't feel like it's Wes Anderson's best film, nor do I feel like it's a masterpiece like everyone's been saying it is. And in terms of the plot, I feel like this was very thinly plotted. And one of the things I mentioned before was that this movie has an amazing voice cast, and I feel like that there were some voice actors or just some actors that I feel like just had maybe a line or two and that was it. And I also do feel like that a bit too much time was put on the human's perspective and not enough time was put with the dog's perspective. But nonetheless, guys, despite its flaws, this is a fun, whimsical adventure from Wes Anderson. If you love stop motion animation and if you love Wes Anderson, check this movie out. I'm gonna give I Love Dogs a 3.75 out of 5 stars. The next film coming up is another film that everyone has been praising, and that film is Love, Simon. So Love, Simon is a coming-of-age tale that stars Nick Robinson as a guy who, as he describes his life as the perfectly normal life, he has a great family, great friends, pretty much everything in his life is great except that he has one big ass secret, and that he is gay. And after that he finds a person that's also shares that same secret that he has a connection with, and it gives him the confidence to do things essentially. Nick Robinson without a doubt gives such a great nuanced performance as this character. Josh Duhamel gives his best performance in a very heartbreaking scene. Well, not really heartbreaking, but it's one of those scenes that when you watch it, it just gives you tears of joy knowing that this guy is the supportive of his son, and just thinking about the scene is making me want to cry right now because it was that damn good. And when it comes to the other actors, Catherine Langford from 13 Reasons Why is also in this. Very funny. There's a person from Arrested Development, can't remember his name, but he was hysterical in this movie. This is a very endearing and a very touching coming of age show that takes the genre and spins in his head and really just gives us something completely new, and I loved it for that. Probably the sweetest thing about this movie is the fact that this movie is about acceptance, not just about sexuality in a person, but just the fact that it's about acceptance of who you are as a person, and I absolutely loved that about this movie. There was a certain section of this movie that I do feel like that was a bit too rushed, and I do feel like that there was a character that, honestly, his actions towards the main character weren't explored enough, but guys, nonetheless, Love, Simon is a damn good, if not a damn excellent coming of age tale. I'm gonna give Love, Simon a 4.5 out of 5 stars. And honestly, whether you're gay or straight or just whatever your sexuality is, I feel like that anyone can relate to this movie in any way possible. Alright, it's time to talk about this movie. I saw this about a few weeks ago. I had to do a home video review for Flick Direct, and now it's time for me to talk about Strangers Prey at Night. Oh boy. So Strangers Prey at Night is the sequel to the film that came out, I believe, 10 years ago, The Strangers, a film that I actually never saw, but I heard was actually really, really good. But anyways, in Strangers Prey at Night, we follow a brand new family that is sending their daughter off to a boarding school. However, I believe on the way they go to this camp to just stay there for the night, and of course, while they're there, the strangers are there picking them off one by one. What did I like about this movie? One scene that was actually a pretty well done scene. But guys, oh my god, this movie. Seriously, guys, I don't even know where to begin with this movie. The characters in this movie are so fucking idiotic. Dear God. I have not seen characters this stupid in a horror slasher film in years. Every decision that they make had me just doing this. Anytime and every time that these characters would get their hands on something that would be useful for them against the strangers, they would always lose it, and it would always just make me want to scream. Now I got what this film was trying to do. It was trying to be an homage to 80s horror films. You can homage 80s horror films, but take it in a different spin, where I feel like this film just didn't do it whatsoever. You can have the 80s soundtrack in there, you can have that synth soundtrack, you can have the neon lights as much as you want in there, but it's not gonna change the fact that your script is fucking terrible. And then the endings of this movie, I don't know what to say other than the ending of this movie just had me saying, oh, for fuck's sake. But yeah, all in all, guys, other than one well done scene, Strangers Prey at Night sucked ass, and I'm gonna give Strangers Prey at Night a 0.5 out of 5 stars. Do not see this movie, guys, even if you're big fans of 80s horror films. I hate this movie so much. Our second to final review is the new dramedy I Feel Pretty, starring Amy Schumer as a girl that has just wanted to be beautiful her entire life until one day when she takes a spinning class, she hits her head pretty damn hard, and then when she wakes up she sees herself as beautiful even though everyone else and we see her as just how she is, really. Now, as far as the things I liked, I can definitely say that I Feel Pretty is miles better than Snatched. I mean, miles better. Amy Schumer is actually really good in this movie as a person, that when she hits her head and she sees herself as she wants to see herself, she has so much confidence in herself that when she is doing things that she wants to do, things actually come her way. It pointed to a really good message that I enjoyed quite a bit. Amy Schumer develops this chemistry with another actor who I thought really bantered off with her very well. They had some really good comedic moments, and they had some really good romantic tension I thought really paid off well. Now here's the thing. Had this movie played out more like a drama, this movie would have worked out so much better. But the fact that this movie tries to go for a comedy, that's my biggest fault with this movie, and that's what really holds this movie back, because in terms of it trying to be a comedy, I barely laughed at this movie whatsoever. Because there were so many times in this movie where a joke was being said or a punchline was being said, and I was just like, is this supposed to be funny? And I feel like had this movie been more of a drama, the movie's message would have hit way harder. Pros and cons aside, guys, had this movie gone for a more dramatic route, I would have probably dug the movie, even though this movie doesn't do anything new. But nonetheless, I'm going to give this movie a 2.5 out of 5. This movie is a lot better than Snatched, but not good enough for me to actually like it. And to the final review of the late reviews Roundup is the film that you guys heard me talking about when I talked about Action Point, and that is The Incredibles 2. So Incredibles 2 has been a 14-year wait for a film that everyone has been waiting to see come back to the big screen. And Incredibles 2 takes place slowly the moment after the first one ends. The Incredible family is back, and superheroes are now outlawed. However, there is one character, played by Bob Odenkirk, who wants heroes to be back in the spotlight because he sees the good that heroes can do. And while he is doing so, there is a new villain called the Screenslaver, who wants to show that superheroes should not be mentioned whatsoever, should not be in the public. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I do love the first Incredibles to death. That's one of my favorite Pixar films. Not my top 5 Pixar films, but it's definitely my top 10 for certain. And I can definitely say to you guys that the 14-year wait was worth it because, man, Incredibles 2 was a damn great sequel. Everyone does such a phenomenal job with this movie, from Craig T. Nelson to Holly Hunter to Samuel L. Jackson to Bob Odenkirk to Brad Pitt himself. Everyone really just brings the right game to this film. When it comes to the animation, would it shock you guys if I mentioned that this movie had incredible animation? I mean, seriously, Pixar has some of the best animation out there, and they do not disappoint with this movie. How Brad Bird and the animators light some certain scenes just looked incredible. Brad Bird, as you guys know, has directed some live action films, including Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. How he lights certain scenes just gives this film such a different look than other anime movies out there, which I loved. Not to mention Jack steals this movie in every scene that he is in, especially a scene where he is fighting a raccoon. That's all I'm gonna say. Just look out for this scene. I was laughing my ass off. The battle sequences in this movie are even better than they were in the first one, and Michael Giacchino once again proves why he is one of the best composers around. Seriously, how this man has not won an Oscar, I am shocked. Now, my biggest flaw with the film is the villain itself. The villain in Incredibles 1 is one of the best comic film villains I have ever seen, whether it's animation or live action. This villain was not only so cliche, but I knew the villain is right when a certain line was said. Not to mention the motivation of the villain was just, I mean, it was typical, I thought. And I will not lie, there were certain scenes in which I thought the pacing was a bit slow. Nonetheless, despite its flaws, Incredibles 2 is a damn great sequel and a very worthy sequel to one of the best Pixar films, one of the best superhero films out there. And overall, I'm gonna give Incredibles 2 a 4.25 out of 5 stars. I had a blast with Incredibles 2. If you love the first Incredibles, guys, please check this movie out. It was definitely worth the 14-year wait. Alright guys, and that's gonna do it for my late reviews roundup video. Guys, I do apologize I wasn't able to get these reviews out in time, but hey, better late than never, right? Alright guys, so comment down and let me know below. Out of all the films I just talked about, which one was your favorite? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Snapchat, and I'm also on Stardust. So if you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links in the usernames are in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed my rapid fire late movie reviews roundup. If so, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe if you do want to see this in the future, if I happen to miss a bunch more reviews. If you guys want to see my review of Action Point, please click right here. Or if you guys want to see my review of Upgrade, please click right here. And of course, until the next review, I will see you guys next time.